Hi, I'm Jenna Suru and I'm talking with Corden on LAge DOr.
Hey everyone, I have the honour and the pleasure of the company of Jenna Suru, filmmaker based in France at the moment. So, hey Jenna, thank you for coming on the show.
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And yourself?
Oh, I'm amazing. Thank you. It's been great in Paris. It's sunny, like it's definitely the beginning of spring, so what a time for sure.
You've stolen our weather. It was like this here last week in the UK. I was walking around in just a t-shirt outside. It was great, and now it's raining.
I saw that.
Yeah, now it's raining and cold and horrible.
Like proper UK, right?
Proper UK weather. Yeah, yeah, exactly. We're giving you a bit more. So we've passed the sunshine on now for Brexit. So yeah, we'll take our rain back.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, my.
Don't get me started on that. Stupid decision we've ever made. But never mind. Cool. So we are here, obviously, to talk about and find out more about yourself and the latest project, which is coming out, which is an all-rounder for you, which we'll get onto. Which obviously you've produced, directed, and starred as the lead actress in, and wrote. Hence the all-rounder, which LAge DOr, which we will talk about shortly, because it sounds like a great project. So first of all, Jenna, can you tell me what kind of inspirations did you have? How did you? This isn't the average career path or the average way to follow in how you want to go and do what you want to do in life. So what drew you to wanting to write and produce and direct and act?
I feel very lucky that I've always felt very inspired. So from my very early age, I started acting when I was 8 years old. I
Mm-hmm.
started learning in Paris for about a few years, and then I also learned a lot in Los Angeles. About writing, it's really interesting because actually, I think it was about 3 years ago, definitely before I even started to write LAge DOr. I
Mm-hmm.
came across some little novels that I was writing when I was about 8 or 9. It was very moving because I actually started writing when I was very, very young, probably around at that age or maybe even 7 years old. And it was very moving because when I read my own writing, I could definitely feel I kind of in a way write the same. Obviously the ideas were different, but the way it was put together, it was really moving. It was like a grown up talking, but through the eyes of a child. It was really, really moving, even for me.
Mm-hmm.
About producing, obviously, that came a little later. And it's definitely, I would say, what really convinced me to become a director on top of an actor and the rest, all of the above. Um, I think it's definitely my experience in LA, which convinced me. I had the very best of teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did I learn acting, but also directing, producing, even hair and makeup, like everything really. And it really convinced me that it was what I was best at. And also, for sure, London taught me a lot, especially indie filmmaking. Like there are so many inspiring filmmakers in the UK, and I've been blown away by their talent and how much I learned there. I've lived in London
Yeah.
for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
so I would say definitely those cities helped me a lot become who I am today.
Fantastic, fantastic. I can't speak for LA because I've never been. I do plan to go there one day. My
It's
aim
a great city.
my aim is to knock. I keep telling everyone my aim is I want to knock James Corden out of his spot on the one.
All right,
Yeah,
yes, yes, right, true.
I want him gone.
Almost there,
Yeah, James.
there. Just the first name, you know.
Yeah, exactly. James Corden can go, then Chris Gordon can go in.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, but yeah, I lived in London myself for the last year, and you're right. I mean, this is what helped my show boost up so much, is because I was able to meet and mingle with so much of the independent film talent that is in the UK, and it wasn't just the UK; it was people like yourself across Europe. But it seems to be a great central hub where people do come together and congregate, and we have that kind of. I think it's a big family. The huge independent film network in the UK and in Europe, it's like a family, and you can go to somewhere and everyone wants to help each other and see each other succeed in their own projects, and and it's mutually beneficial. It's great.
Oh, absolutely. London is so inspiring, not only because obviously there's so many talented filmmakers, but as you say, you can easily connect. And then obviously it's important to make the right choices and really get attached to the best projects so you can learn. Because I always want to learn from the very best people. So I really inspire from the very best of each person I meet and work with. But I've just been lucky. I've really been working with the best, and definitely London is an inspiration. Not only for film, but even for music. Like LAge DOr is a lot about the music, and I've been blown away by the very best of the British bands that we know, like the Beatles, the Stones, the Who, like all of them. Very, very important city for art, for sure.
Definitely, definitely. If you want to know the Beatles, you should come to Liverpool, where I work. Literally, I mean, Matthew Street and obviously the Cavern Club is half a mile away, so half a kilometre or so away. But around the corner, 200 metres from where I work, you've got the Beatles Museum and the Beatles Cafe. So everything, all the Beatles, everything Beatles is in there. And it's great because you walk by during the day and you can hear all the old Beatles songs coming out. I love them to bits. I think they're a great band. But it's just fantastic. The whole city is just alive with that sort of vibe as well. So it's another great city to be in. But London's obviously more cultural, more central for everyone. But
That's amazing. Like, I definitely want to go. I've been shooting in Leeds last September. It's a great film called Vishesh. But actually, in the movie LAge DOr, the characters do talk specifically about Liverpool.
Okay.
Obviously, because we do talk about the Beatles. But I've never actually been in Liverpool. But I definitely want to go, especially to this museum and feel all that vibe. It sounds very, very inspiring. That sounds amazing. I can't wait to visit you there.
No, it's a great place. It's a fantastic city. I was going to say, do you know James Corden? We've been talking about James Corden, my rival. No, I'm not joking. As if I was ever in his as if I was in his league at all. He does that. He does the carpool karaoke.
Yeah.
He did one with Sir Paul McCartney. And it was really moving because they drove around Liverpool and they drove around Paul McCartney's old house.
Oh, wow.
And he actually
went. Oh, my God.
So they stopped, they went in the house, and Paul was saying it's the first time he's been there since they moved, since they left. And he was showing the bathroom. He said he used to sit in the bathroom and like play the drums, and him and John used to write the songs and play in the one room. And when they got it, they thought they got it. They walked into the next room and played it to Paul's dad to see if he gave a thumbs up or not, and it was like, wow, it was just fun. And they went down Penny Lane, and the barber shop is still there, because the little in Penny, the lyrics of the barber shop, that's all there with all their photos. It was really, really moving.
That's amazing. Such great stories. Yeah, like definitely music is really important to me, and for the UK, I think it's definitely the place to go. I really want to visit Liverpool specifically. All the stories sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's a place, but let's say Paris, you can't exactly knock where you live in Paris.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love this very famous picture that was taken when one of the records, was number one in the US. I think they were in some hotel in Paris, like some famous hotel, and this picture with the pillows, like they're having a pillow battle or something, and it's just like, yeah, absolutely. Paris was so inspiring. It's been very inspiring for me as an artist. Like I studied acting there, and really Paris, wherever you walk, you can see only something incredible. So definitely a very big inspiration to anyone. And also the south of France, Saint-Tropez, Ramatuelle, all those cities are just and those villages are just amazing, and they're so full of history, just like the stories you've just mentioned. This is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I love the stories. It's so important. It really makes a difference to know about them, to know about what those artists did, because it's really important even for today. So
exactly, and obviously it's very important for the film that you've written, as you said, which we'll move on to. Now you with what you do as well, you've always found you I can't even speak. Sorry, you founded the Belle Epoque Film Company as well. That was what 2015. You formed your own company for that. How did that feel, setting your own company up?
Exactly. January 2015, I opened my feature film company. It's actually a little more than 4 years old now. And what's interesting is that it's actually a French company. But when I opened it, I was living in London.
Okay.
And I starting producing in the UK. That was amazing. But it's a little more than 4 years old, so big baby. Feature film company, which is also the only production company for LAge DOr, the feature film you mentioned that I directed and lead
Excellent.
acted in.
Excellent. What do you prefer? Because I mean, obviously you've acted a couple of times. You've directed. You've written. You've produced. Which is your favourite? Do you have one? Is there one that stands out more? Is there one that you love to do more than the other?
Well, I think I'm very lucky that as a director, I can actually switch off and on really easily from directing to acting. I feel definitely, I would say directing is just incredible because, for instance, in my point of view as a director, it's really important that you know how to act because you direct the actors on set
Yeah.
and during rehearsals. Also, you should definitely know about, set design, makeup, hair, even production in a way. You need to understand the production's point of view so you can better adapt. Well, for me, I was also producing it, but I think it's really important as a director to really understand every perspective because you are responsible to bring the best out of people. And to do that, it's important to really know what they're doing. This is why I took makeup classes, hair classes. When I was working as an intern at Panavision a few years ago, well, I put my hands on every camera just because I wanted to know about cinematography and material.
Yeah.
And I think definitely the director's responsibility is to carry out a vision and tell a story. So I would say it's just probably the thing I'm most passionate about. I also obviously absolutely love acting. Acting is just the essence of a film, the characters, like the way I write. Most of the films I write are character driven because I think obviously characters are extremely important in a story. They are the ones that really drive what's happening, and they're all the ones also you can identify to as an audience. And I also obviously love producing, and I've been lucky that I've also been in distributing. I've been working at the two best distributors in France for movies, which
Wow.
are Comme One SND. And it's extremely important because, as you say, everything is connected. Like, for instance, when I wrote the movie, obviously I had the point of view from a distributor's point of view too, because the way I write, it needs to be easy to sell. No, it needs to really appeal to a very large audience
Yeah.
and to be appealing to people's hearts. And so it's a mix of a lot, and it really is a balance. And I feel lucky that I can write, I can direct, act, and produce because it really, I feel, helped me a lot. It really helps me a lot to strike that balance, which is extremely important.
Excellent. No, that's a great answer. Thank you. I think you're right. The director. I mean, I was going to say I spoke to obviously. I think you're nearly 160th guest I've had, Jenna. But I'm just yeah, thank you. I'm just trying to think now. I've spoken to so many people and who've acted and directed, and it's lovely to hear always the different answers because some people think that the two shouldn't mix. Other people think it's a perfect mix that you should, if when you direct something, then it makes you appreciate that more when you're acting, and when you're acting, and then obviously when you're acting and become a director, then it gives you that sense of you understand what's that side of the camera and how it works as well. So it's a great symbiotic mix,
Very
I think.
true.
But it's all
Absolutely, and I agree. I agree with all of the above, really, because I think directing and acting at the same time is definitely not for everyone. I feel I can do it because I'm more of a technical actor. I'm not a method actor, so this enables me to really switch off and on really fast. And
yeah.
for instance, when I say cut, like I really switch on into directing mode very, very quickly. Without that, it wouldn't have been possible. So it was a really big challenge, and it's really hard. It's not for everyone. But I would say that it's true that, if, for instance, if you really want to career as an actor, well, it's important at some point probably to learn about directing so you understand the director's point of view, because both are so different from each other. Like, as a director, you bring your vision, but obviously all the departments are working. Like, for instance, on LAge DOr, the production manager would work a lot, and obviously the actors and the crew and the cast and the post team, like everyone is doing really her very best. And as an actor, it's more, obviously you work with the rest of the cast and you work with the director, but the process is obviously quite different. So I could understand that if you're only acting, at some point you're gonna kind of have this moment where you realize you really need to understand the director's point of view because it's so different, and you definitely learn a lot. So really agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And I mean, there are actors who can, the character actors out there who do say, they're fantastic. So, I mean, I was just thinking then when you did say about you're a technical actor and obviously the character. I keep thinking of Jim. I keep thinking of Jim Carrey because I watched a documentary on him when he did Man on the Moon, when he played Andy Kaufman, and I could see even everyone on set, he couldn't switch off. He really got so into the character, even offset. He was acting like Andy Kaufman, and people, and it was
Wow.
how he. I mean, I've acted myself way back in school, and I did my first. I was back in film 2 years ago. I was in an independent film, and I had some lines.
Ah, yes, that's great.
It's won 25 awards at the film festivals. I have to say so.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
not
amazing.
me. Obviously,
Congratulations.
the main cast. I was only a tiny cog. As a featured extra,
Still.
they classed me, but I was still in it.
You had lines. You had lines.
Exactly, and the scene that I was in is what people have been talking about, saying it was brilliant. So I was like, not because of me, but the atmosphere and everything. So I was like, yes,
You contributed, yeah.
I contribute. Yeah, I contributed to that. Yeah, sorry, I thought I muted
Great.
myself, then clicked the wrong button. But yeah, no, you are very. It's very true, and it's great to hear that kind of the continuation of the symbiosis between. I think it's becoming more of a thing now, especially the independent film scene has grown so much in the last few years. It's always been there, but I think it's with Netflix, with Amazon Prime, Hulu. I think it's just exploded because you used to be able, you used to have to get everything expensive cameras, but now people are making films on their iPhone and putting film shorts, and you can the camera quality is that good. Okay, you still need
Yeah.
big cameras to make a proper, a decent film. That's not, but for people who are starting out, it's a fantastic era to be in because you can just go out and make something, follow your dreams and follow your passion, and just get it made. If that makes
That's
sense.
amazing, and definitely, I feel you're being really modest because I really value like everyone's contribution, like about being a featured extra. Like honestly, there's been so much passion behind the movie LAge DOr. Like there's been so much work, and I can tell you, like I value so much like everyone's work. Not only obviously the people that really worked a lot, like really invested a lot of their time, etc. Like obviously production manager, heads of departments, actors, etc. But also like there's been so much passion behind the movie, like even because obviously it's also a period drama because it tells the story of two artists in the 60s
Yeah.
that want to change the world, and so they embark on an artistic project together. Their names are Sebastian and Angèle, and they flee to the south of France to just try to bring change in this world that just doesn't work for them. And I can tell you, like it's been so incredible how everyone like did so great. Like even I can guarantee you, like even the extra that was there for just a second or just maybe had a few lines did such a great job. Like it's so smart. Like you can really feel the smartness in every gesture, even if you look at the background. And if you look at this extra or this featured extra or this extra who doesn't even have any line,
Yeah.
like I can guarantee you, like you really can tell the passion. And this is why I wanted to get back to it because you said, this scene really was recognized as a great scene, etc. And I think really everyone contributes because even if you feel it's something small, it really makes a difference. So this is why I feel so thankful for LAge DOr because everyone, even those who were in the frame for just 1 second, have just been amazing.
You are right. Sorry, I did mute myself. And everyone does contribute, and again, I think that's a lovely thing about the independent film, in the fact that everybody recognises each other and everyone recognises all the roles involved. As I mean, from talking to people, I get that, but from just going back to the film that I was in, I was only on it for a day. There was 12-hour day, and I think I was actually filming for about half an hour of that. Maybe a bit longer because the final scene I was basically lying on the floor with my hands tied behind my back for about an hour, and that was character acting because I was thrashing around and smashed my head on the concrete floor, And
Oh
they
my
said,
God.
and they said afterwards, they did say that was a hell of a character acting there, and I was like, I know, I just carried on.
Oh, yes, right. Just did your job.
A really bad
That's
headache, to be
great.
fair, but everyone was, and it
Yeah,
was.
right.
But you could see, I was fascinated. I loved because it was a small set. I could the cameraman, the cinematographer was there, and he was planning the shots. The director, I could watching him work and watching them work all in one, and like the makeup, even the makeup artists backstage putting the makeup on, getting everyone ready for the shot. It was everybody plays a huge part in a production, and it was the first time I got to see. It was on a small scale, but I still got to see every single person, all the roles playing their part, from the boom, the runner. Everyone was there, and everyone was being treated so nicely because the film, the production won't get made even if one of those people doesn't work or
Exactly.
isn't there. So it's
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
it's like it's like a jigsaw. All the pieces need to be in place.
Oh my God, so true. It's a big teamwork, yeah. All the same, especially for pure drama, there are so many things you can compromise with, like even obviously the hair or the makeup or just, all the little props. Like they're just, it really has to be very authentic so you can really believe and you can really feel it's the 60s. So
Yeah.
very true. And as you say, like, I feel with the new actors now, in the industry like Netflix and all those, really it's gonna help recognize to have indie filmmakers recognized, and I think it's extremely important.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, we talked about, obviously, you've mentioned what LAge DOr is about in the 60s there as well. And this is your baby project because, like we said, you've written it, you directed it, you star in it, and you produced it.
Yes,
Is there
yes.
anything you didn't do, Jenna?
Obviously there's so
Yeah.
much I didn't do myself, but it's true. I think it was a very ambitious project, and the only reason why I wanted this one to be my debut feature film is because this story is just so important to the world right now. So as you mentioned, yeah, it's the story of Sebastian, who's a Franco-American producer. He flees the Vietnam War. So from Los Angeles, he goes in his mother's footsteps. He
Okay.
goes to Paris, where he meets this French theater actress that I'm being, and she plays in front of empty seats. Together, we really don't feel at ease in 1967 in this world, just after the two world wars. It's just not working for them, and so they decide to work on this project together. They go to this small village, but this small village is Saint-Tropez. And you probably know Saint-Tropez, for today because it's very famous. So many tourists go in the summer. At the time, it was actually this fishing harbor, which was becoming one of the most inspiring places in the world. And it really still is. Like Tropesians, people in Ramatuelle, in the region, they do such an incredible job at just keeping it as it was. People are still so authentic. It's really a place where you can feel inspiration. You can feel all those big rock stars, even from the UK or the US in the
Yeah.
60s that went there. And you can feel it because when you go there, it doesn't really matter who you are, how famous you are, where you're from. It's just about how talented, authentic you are. And it really touched my heart. And it's a very important story to be told. So this is why also there was so much passion behind the film. And yeah, it's very, very exciting.
No, man, I can hear that in your voice. It's a passion, and it was. I mean, politically, it was one really. I mean, mixed up era, just kind of like we are now. But it is much. I mean, you just like you say, you had the Vietnam War, which was kicking off for the Americans, and obviously being in France, that was probably ringing a lot of alarm bells because of the War of Indochina as well, which is the first one, which the French were heavily involved with. And obviously, I mean, you've got the war in Algeria. I love history, and at the moment, I'm looking at La Légion étrangère. So that's I study that. So I'm studying them in Algeria and
Wow.
Indochina. So I'm really interested in that period because you've got to say
Yeah.
you got the American Vietnam War. You had the French were involved with the war in Algeria at the time. I think it was probably just finishing in that time. So
Yeah.
there was a
Still
lot of
before, yeah.
there was a lot of conflict and a lot of war. So to have a story where two characters just want to go and just forget about it and just explore that art and explore the music and just create something beautiful is in a world which is full of hate is just
Yeah.
it probably rings very true of today, like I said, because
Yeah, exactly.
there's so much hate in the world. It would be great to see that kind of a story and see it out on the screen and just empathize and feel, what's the word, relatable. That's what I'm trying to say, is relatable. It's very relatable to how people want to
Absolutely.
go, because hell, I want to go somewhere nice and just go, find somewhere and just follow the music and dreams and get away from everything
Yeah.
that's going on.
Absolutely, it's so true. You really said the right word. This is exactly how we felt too, and this is why we feel it's so important. Like this movie is so important for today, because even today, obviously, when I open the newspapers, I read the news. I feel exactly like probably Sebastian and Angèle would feel at the time. And it's actually the first time, I believe, it's the very first time I mentioned this scene on the radio. So it's especially for Hellblazer Base, there is this big scene in the movie. There are many important scenes in the movie, obviously. The first one I wrote it's one of the major scenes in the film where the characters Sebastian and Angèle actually tackle very, very specifically how they feel nowadays in this world. And it's a very important scene about, I would say it's very period, but for sure, I'm sure that the audience today would find a connection, because even today, when you look at the news, obviously, like the two world wars are a bit far now, but there is so much more going on, and there is really this need for change. In the 60s, like I so admired, we mentioned the Beatles. Well, to take
Yeah.
this example, like the Beatles were incredible artists that really helped change so much. Like only mentioning what they did when they were touring in the US and they refused to stage a concert if Black people and Caucasians were separated, and they really put that
Yeah.
fit in and said, no, we won't do it. And it was so brave, because some would think maybe, oh, we were famous, it's easier. But I think it's not. I think it's even worse when you're famous. You have so much to lose.
Exactly.
So
They
much
had
to lose.
everything to lose, especially in America, because they were just getting their name out there. So to do something like that was probably one of the most bravest and, yeah, like you say, the bravest things they could have done, and it could have gone really wrong.
I'm so excited I'm speaking with you, because you're such a specialist, you're such an expert for the Beatles,
No, no, I'm
living in
not.
Liverpool. So great, I'm like, this is amazing. I can definitely feel a connection. Yeah, you're right. Like what they did was so brave, and it's extremely important. Sometimes I can feel that too. Like sometimes I hear, and it's true. Like how do I do? I really want to bring change, but how do I do? I'm not a politician. I'm not an economist. I'm no one. I'm not rich. So what do I do? And really, it's a very slow process of bringing change. You really have to make sacrifices, like what they did, and it worked. This is how slowly the movie, the world is improving, and what happens in the movie. The film LAge DOr questions the audience about like which kind of sacrifices they're ready to make, like what are you ready to do, and there are some answers, a lot of answers for that in the film, and I believe obviously the answers are also in ourselves, but obviously it's extremely important for today's world, for sure, as you mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. You hit the nail. Yeah, the answers are in ourselves. That's you can't make change unless. I mean, it's, look at Michael Jackson, the man in the mirror, or the woman in the mirror. Yeah, you look to yourself. If you want to make a change in the world, you are the person who can do that. Don't rely on anyone else. If you want to start, if you want to see a positive change, you are the one who's got to. You instigate it. Even if you can make one person smile in a day, you are making a
True.
change. You've made a. You can change someone's way they were thinking, perhaps. So it's all inside of you. That you can make a change for yourself. You can make a change for the world, and do whatever you want to do and make it better.
That's so very true.
Without singing, starting to go into Michael Jackson style, which I was just. It was. It sounded like.
Yeah, Michael Jackson was just incredible. Like I watched so many documentaries about his work, and like yeah, like all of them really. I feel like all artists are at some point confronted to that question, or like what are you ready to do? Like what is your priority? Is it your success, your fame, your work, bringing change? And I feel that we are all confronted to that, but especially if you reach that level of success, I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there is that point where those artists, they really have to make a choice, and because when you have such a big audience, you have such a responsibility, and this is why I think it's so exciting and important. It's a big responsibility to be a filmmaker because we do have an audience, and it's important. We have a responsibility in bringing change and making this world a little bit a better place. So I feel very thankful for that.
No, no, it's great. Yeah, definitely filmmaking because films are what people watch, and so it's how people
Yeah.
get inspired to do things. So having stories like LAge d'Or, where you've got that inspiration, seeing it on screen like that, then yes, it's something that people can then go away and feel inspired themselves. Perhaps maybe they were just tinkering with thinking about something, but watching the film, then they go away thinking,
Yes.
"Damn, yeah, I can do that," and go off and do it and
Yeah.
change things. Revolution.
Absolutely. Yeah, revolution. Sounds very French, like I
And,
feel like I'm in 1968 or something. It's like, but it's true. Like I'm sure so many people want it today, and it's hard because it's true. It's exactly as you said. Like it's very hard. Like
mhm,
there's so much to do, and you would sometimes feel you're not helped, and that you're no one, and it like I feel like for me as a person as a filmmaker, like I think it was it 7 years ago? I went to New Delhi in India,
mhm,
and I directed and produced a short documentary. It was such an incredible experience about those Indian foster cares, and I really have that resilience, I feel, and that ability to really feel confident and bring change. And I think it's the first time in my life where I would see so much, like, so many poor people, like so hard, where I actually feel like, it comes to a point where it's so much you feel like, what can I do? It's so hard. And I, what I really like to think about is that this film, there is so much passion behind it. Like, so all the people that were in the film, I'm so thankful for all of us who really helped make it a beautiful artistic experience. Also, sometimes when it was a bit hard, because obviously there were big challenges.
mhm.
I would just think it's my anger, like that really pushed me. I would think about how much I want to change this world because it's really hard. Like especially when you're told every day what to do. Like when you have a job, when you go to office hours. Like what can I do? Like I just don't have a time. I
Yeah.
just basically don't have a time. And I think it's a very big. I feel very thankful that as a filmmaker I can actually do that. So this is why it really pushed me to go through anything with this amazing team, and that's really important to mention.
Definitely, you're right. I mean, I can sympathise. I do 40-hour working week, then I come home and
Yeah,
I've got my family, and then I'm trying to do my show as well. And I wish the days were longer.
yeah, and it's so amazing you're having the show, help Blazer busy. As you say, everything helps, and I think it's amazing you can put that together.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say. That's one of the things when I met all these people in the independent circuit last year, because I think I'm nobody and I'm just a little part, but they were like, "No, because you are a part of the machine," and that's like we were saying before. That machine, because you help publicise. You give it, you
True.
help, you talk about the films, you watch the films, and obviously they said so. You are, and it was just every little section. Was just a part of it, and to be included in that just as one little part of it, it's just
Yeah.
amazing feeling.
Oh, it's very important. It's very important. Well, thank you so much for what you do.
No, 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 please, that's not what I was asking for. So, besides LAge d'Or, you've got some other projects that you're looking at as well. Now, you mentioned the Sesh. That's another one that's coming out or been.
Oh, it's actually a short that is meant to become a feature film. I was helping producing and casting for it. The director is very talented. His name is Jamal Cole Dixon. I was actually speaking with him today and yesterday, and the short is in post-production and it should be ready in the coming weeks. So that's extremely exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also writing my coming script, which is meant to be a comedy feature, or it could be also turned into a TV series, but definitely a comedy with great message. I'm very excited for it.
Excellent.
Also, where I have a couple of scripts I'm looking at. Definitely, there is also a comedy horror called Dead End, which I'm directing and also meant to be the lead actress in. So that's really exciting. It's going to be another experience, both directing and acting. And the script is just incredible. And it looks like we're having a really good team attached, which is very, very important. So that's definitely going to be a good one. And then let's see what happens. But yeah, I'm very thankful that I really have the opportunity to work with such talented artists. And yeah, thank you to Dom Lenoir also, I think, who connected us.
Yeah, Dom's great.
We're looking at a feature script of his to be working together on. So yeah, definitely a lot more coming up. But LAge DOr, really, LAge DOr is such an ambitious film, and again, like really, oh my God, all the work that's behind it. And Saint-Tropez, we also shot a little bit. We also shot in the US. We shot in Los Angeles, and just recreating, the Hollywood of the 60s.
Yeah.
Was just mind blowing. Like, and we mentioned directing and acting at the same time, and it's actually great because it's so incredible. When I worked with the departments, on my vision with them for every detail to be really put right. So incredible because we really shot in the most incredible locations. We shot in more than 35 exceptional locations.
Wow.
And believe me or not, but I only had my number one choices. And it really helps to bring authenticity. Like, we shot in a real train. We shot in a real station from the time. We shot near the Eiffel Tower. We shot in Saint-Tropez on the harbor where they shot God Created Woman. And it's so incredible because with the cars, the costume, the hair, the makeup, like the shot list I built, the acting, it's so incredible because, when you say action, you jump into this world that you've created, with this amazing team, and you're there. You're in the 60s, and you're Angèle or you're Sebastian, everything feels so real just because you've worked on such a big authenticity. I feel very privileged because though I'm very young, I feel like I've lived a little bit in the 60s. I've lived what people who know that period have known, and that was one of the most incredible experiences in my life. And I really thank all the team and people in Saint-Tropez, all the partners. There were so many, everyone for helping create that. Very special.
Fantastic. It was great, to have you feel like you go back into the 60s. It was before my time as well. I'm not that old.
Oh, yeah, of course, I could tell.
So yeah, it must be a great feeling as well. So when will we be able to see LAge DOr? And where?
Oh, we are actually looking for distribution at the moment. So definitely very soon. And I would advise for that to follow our social media. We put quite a few updates on them. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're pretty much everywhere. And our page is called LAge DOr Film. And you can see definitely there is great news coming up regularly. That's really exciting. So yeah, please spread the word, and definitely we'll update you on it will probably be released somewhere near you, so definitely excited to see you there. Like, as you say, it's so important. I'm just so excited to hear the audience reaction because it's definitely a very modern movie, but it will also appeal to the people who lived at the time, because this is what is so incredible for me, is to hear their reactions, because they know this time so much better than anyone else, and I just can't wait to hear what they think and hear how they feel watching the movie. So yeah, I just can't wait. Like, can't wait to see it screen also in festivals and everywhere. It's just gonna be very, very moving for all of us behind the film, I'm sure.
That's fantastic. Really great to hear. If you need someone to compare, I'll do a Q&A at the UK premiere or screening. I'll do them too.
I would love that. Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep in touch with it. Oh my God, like, especially, like all the premieres gone. Like, I would go anywhere in the world. Like, I would be on any show in the world to spread the word of this movie. That's so important. Obviously, the UK is going to be really important because, even the music, we had such a great soundtrack, and it's also a big tribute to, all the British rock stars, like all the greatest ones. So definitely it's going to be very important for me. I can't wait.
Excellent. Now, before I stop recording, Jenna, is there anything you would like to say to people who are listening? One last thing.
Yes, I would like to say to people who are listening, who wake up in the morning and, just switch on their TV or just read the newspapers or just on their phones or when you're on the internet, who see everything that's happening in the world and feel cheese. Like, I just I just want to say, definitely you're not alone. Like, there are so many people that feel the same, and I want to say that everyone can make a difference, even when it feels very hard, even when you're trying and you think no one is listening or no one is helping or you can't find the support you need. I want to say, obviously, like I really hope you go see the movie because it's definitely about that, and it's about how important what you're doing is. So yeah, it's important to underline that, I feel. And thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, Chris, to our partners, to everyone in Saint-Tropez. It's just the beginning of a journey. And we are very lucky, and we'll just do anything we can to push it as much as it deserves to be.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely fantastic. I hope everybody enjoyed listening to or watching that, and please join me for more. If you'd like to see more, please go to YouTube and subscribe to Hellblazer Biz. Go to iTunes, look for Hellblazer Biz and hit subscribe. Google Play, Spotify, where else is it? Google Music, I believe it's on as well now. Buzzsprout. Anyway, just search for Hellblazer Biz and subscribe. My website is www.hellblazerbiz.com. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram as Hellblazer Biz, and Facebook is facebook.com/HellblazerBiz2. Please go and hit like and subscribe, and please share. Like, comment, and share. And that's the only way this show will survive. I appreciate all of your support. As always, this has been Chris Corden on Hellblazer Biz saying, till next time.